Benefits of tree yoga are truly endless. It discharges negative energy and it dissolves stress. It fills you up with positive energy, happiness, and inspiration. Tree yoga clears mental distortions and it polishes perception. I know this is a bold claim, but tree yoga can help with nearly all, if not all, mental health problems and emotional issues. It can help greatly with physical ailments and imbalances too. Tree yoga can help greatly with relationships and it can help you advance in your career. It can take you from scarcity to abundance as well as from lost to found. For all my yogis, I am not joking around when I say that tree yoga is the best thing I have found to open and balance all of the chakras simultaneously. Tree yoga can reconnect you with life and it can reconnect you with love. It helps greatly with all forms of addiction because it helps to dissolve those strong energetic patterns. Specifically, tree yoga can help with technology addiction, and then once you're free, you can use it in a more enlightened way. Okay, let's talk about why tree yoga works. But in order to understand that, we need to understand forest bathing or Shinrin Yoku. First and foremost, forest bathing has nothing to do with taking a bath in some random river in the woods. Forest bathing is actually a Japanese system of nature immersion and therapy that is becoming increasingly popular all over the world. It's being proven time and time again, it being extremely effective at reducing stress and improving overall health, especially mental health. It is alleviating anxiety, getting people out of depression, and improving immunity all at the same time. The benefits of just being in nature are truly incredible. That is what forest bathing is. It is being in nature. And we are not being bathed by water, we are being bathed by the positive energy of the forest. This is real. And this is healing and cleansing at the absolute deepest levels. Most people have experienced some form of this at some point. Have you ever had a stressful day, then went for a walk in the woods, then it's like magically you felt better? The energy of the forest dissolved and washed away the stress and negativity, and it filled you up with positive energy. And it's largely why you felt happier, clearer, and more inspired. Next thing we are about to talk about is the most important thing to understand with tree yoga. It is the foundation of the practice, and it is why tree yoga is so effective. With forest bathing, where is the positive energy coming from? Where is the positive energy that washes away our negative energy and stress coming from? Where? It is coming from the trees. Not only are the trees supplying us with fresh air to breathe, but every single tree is a fountain of infinite positive energy that never stops flowing and never stops giving. Every single tree has a positive electromagnetic field or sphere of energy around it. You could also use the word aura. Let's actually cut to a visual of this right now so you can see exactly what I mean. With forest bathing, we are walking through the electromagnetic fields or auras of the trees. This is where all the health benefits are coming from. Now, every tree has a positive electromagnetic field that can extend out hundreds or even thousands, if it's a big power tree, of feet in every direction. With the center, the trunk of the tree, not only being the source of the positive energy, but also where the positive energy is the most concentrated and the strongest. And the farther out away we go from the trunk, from center, the less concentrated and the weaker the positive energy. It's still there, it's just not as potent. Now imagine if we get so much benefit from, for lack of a better word, mindlessly or unintentionally walking through the outer edges of the electromagnetic fields, where the energy is the least concentrated and the weakest. What happens if we stop and intentionally spend time in the center of the electromagnetic field, where the positive energy is the most concentrated and the strongest? This is where the magic happens. This is where we receive maximum health benefits. For many people, energetic health and energy healing are these mystical, mysterious things. However, they shouldn't live in the realm of the paranormal. Energetic health and energy healing should be understood and utilized by everyone, because there's nothing more foundational than your energy. Energetic health is the absolute foundation, and everything is built on top of it, including mental health, emotional health, physical health, even things like your financial health and spirituality. All of it is built on top of your energy. This is the master key to health and happiness, and it is imperative to understand positive energy and negative energy, or positive electromagnetic fields and negative electromagnetic fields. Remember though, yoga is only 1% theory and 99% practice. Yes, we want to understand energy, but more importantly, we want to act on it. We want to put it into practice. We want to amplify the positive energy as much as possible and harness the maximum amount, while mitigating and eliminating negative energy as much as possible. We want to discharge more of the bad and take in more of the good. This is the secret to optimal health and wellness, as well as maximum life quality and happiness. I'm also willing to bet that you have already directly experienced this for yourself. We just want to expand our understanding of what's happening, then act on that new understanding. We have all been around positive people or people with good energy. Their positive energy, happiness, and even mental clarity is infectious. Being around them uplifts you, fills you with happiness and inspiration, and maybe you have higher ideas too, or dots get connected. At the most fundamental level, what is happening is you are in that person's electromagnetic field, and they are in yours. There's an energetic exchange going on, and that happiness, that upliftment, that clarity is a result of the energetic exchange between you and that positive person. The same thing happens on the other end of the spectrum. Spending time around a negative person or a person with negative energy leaves you feeling less happy, you're less healthy, and you're more stressed. Maybe you're anxious or depressed or more irritable after spending time with that person. That's because at the most fundamental level, you are in their negative electromagnetic field. What's really crazy is, even if no negative words are said, no hateful words are said, you can still end up feeling worse after being in that person's negative electromagnetic field, absorbing that negative energy. I have heard this called emotional contagion, but it doesn't really matter what you call it. What matters is that you understand that environment and energy are essential, because you become your environment as well as the energy that you interact with. There is an entire spectrum of electromagnetic fields. Starting with the positive end, trees are as purely positive as it gets. Humans also have electromagnetic fields, but it's more of a mixed bag. There can be positive electromagnetic fields, there can be negative. You can change. One day you can be more positive, one day you can be more negative. It switches, it's dynamic. Same with animals. However, animals typically tend to be more stable on the positive end. Not always, but typically. All forms of plant life, all forms of animal life, all forms of sentient life, all forms of life have electromagnetic fields. Now, this is where it gets craziest. Technology has electromagnetic fields. Wireless technology especially has extremely negative electromagnetic fields that are as poisonous and as toxic as you can get. We did a fun example of phonetics in the last lesson with tree yoga school sounding a lot like tree yoga's cool. But now let's do a more serious and kind of scary one by studying the word wireless. 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 Is wireless technology wireless health-wise, energetically? Many people do not know about wireless radiation. They do not know that every form of wireless technology has a very strong negative electromagnetic field. They do not realize they're constantly swimming in wireless radiation by keeping their phone on their body or by their side 24/7, even while they're sleeping. They do not realize that the cause of their anxiety, depression, feeling overwhelmed, stress, and the myriad of other mental health issues are a result of them always being in negative electromagnetic fields, being poisoned at the deepest level energetically. What we're about to talk about is being intentionally hidden from you or played down. However, it's not always with evil intentions. It's kind of like the blind king in the Bhagavad Gita. He's the only one that can stop the war. However, he's blinded by the love for his son, the attachment to his son, and the war rages on, and there's horrible consequences. Sometimes a good thing can cause a bad thing. Sometimes love can cause evil. Now, the big tech companies are the blind king. Current day. They are blinded by their love of innovation as well as their love for money. There's literally trillions of dollars on the table. Think about it. Many of the biggest companies in the world are built on top of wireless technology. I'm not going to name every one, but just to name a few: Google or Alphabet, Facebook or Meta, Amazon, Apple, IBM and Intel, Sony, Samsung, and Alibaba, Netflix. Don't forget about all the companies for cell phone apps, TikTok, Snapchat, Twitter or X or Instagram. I know that's part of Meta, but Uber, Waze, Venmo. There's so many. And don't forget about all the AI companies in the exploding AI field right now, like OpenAI with ChatGPT and Midjourney, Leonardo. All AI is run on top of wireless technology, and pretty much soon everything will be integrated with AI. There's going to be even more negative electromagnetic fields. Many of the other biggest companies or bigger companies in the world, like JP Morgan, Bank of America, ExxonMobil, Walmart, Toyota, now rely heavily on wireless technology for everyday business operations. So even if the business has nothing to do with wireless technology, it's built on top of wireless technology now. I want to reiterate that sometimes bad can be caused by good. And I know people that work at Google. I've talked to people that work at Facebook. They were cool and good people. They definitely weren't evil. Also consider that compartmentalization allows only the higher ups or the highest ups in an organization or a business to know fully the full picture, what's going on, the truth of the situation. The highest ups at these companies know about the negative effects of wireless radiation and always being in negative electromagnetic fields. However, they're blinded by the attachment to the trillions of dollars on the table, as well as positive things like innovation. And combine this spiritual blindness with the cognitive biases like the ostrich effect, and now you end up in a situation where the people running the companies are overlooking these huge variables or dismissing them as unimportant. There are many voices talking about this, however, they are not heard. There are many studies confirming the negative effects of wireless radiation, however, they receive no hype. Some of the older studies defined a heavy cell phone user as someone who used their cell phone for 2, 3, 4 hours per month. And there were negative effects associated with that heavy usage. But now people are using their cell phone 4 or 8 hours a day. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's 24 if you're keeping your cell phone by your side all the time. And that was back then. That was back then when there was far less wireless technology, when there were far fewer negative electromagnetic fields. There are way more now, then there's only more and more each day, and they're getting stronger as well. As a quick caveat, you can use technology in an enlightened way. So don't throw your cell phone away because you're terrified of the negative effects of wireless radiation. If you're doing things like tree yoga, spending time in nature, earthing, consciously discharging the negative energy, balancing out the negative with the positive, you'll be good to go and you can use this technology safely. However, it's when you are sitting in and saturating in the negative electromagnetic fields, especially multiple negative electromagnetic fields, that's when the most damage is being done. We are being unknowingly poisoned at the deepest level. When you are poisoned at the deepest level, the entire human system, which is an energetic system at the core, collapses from the inside out. People are breaking down on all levels because their foundation is built on top of negative energy. Worse, the dots often never get connected. Again, to be clear, I've said it about yoga teachers, energy healers, businessmen, and now doctors. I am not saying your doctor is evil with what I'm about to say. I'm sure he or she is really cool and a good person. I know a lot of doctors personally, and they're all cool, the ones I know. However, your doctor is not going to tell you that the cause of your anxiety, depression, chronic inflammation, irritability, or other mental health issues are a direct result of you always being in negative electromagnetic fields. That wasn't in the textbook from medical school. This is a completely new variable, huge variable too, and unfortunately all of us are in this experiment. If you are in a negative electromagnetic field for too long, the entire system goes haywire. Your brain becomes like a computer submerged underwater. Also think about it. When my parents were my age, I'm talking a couple of decades ago, mental health was not a thing. It did not exist. People really didn't have all these mental health issues like they do nowadays. And it's never just one thing. However, what is the one biggest thing that has changed? What is the one biggest variable that has changed? Wireless technology and negative electromagnetic fields. It wasn't there at all just a few decades ago, and there were really no mental health issues. But now, when it's fully integrated into society, wireless technology everywhere, negative electromagnetic fields all over the place, we are currently in a mental health crisis. It is bad enough that people are typically always in negative electromagnetic fields now, but the real insidious part here is that you don't see it happening. At least if you're smoking cigarettes, taking tequila shots, and eating Big Macs, you see yourself doing it. But when you're in negative electromagnetic fields all the time for years on end, and the information is intentionally hidden and the dots never get connected, and your health is eventually destroyed, you're left blindsided wondering what happened. I was exercising, I was eating healthy, I was sleeping 8 hours a night or whatever the recommendation is. I was doing all the right things. I was making all the right health choices. How did I end up with anxiety? How did I end up depressed? How did I end up with chronic inflammation? Or worse, how did I end up with a serious disease? It is bad enough to deal with the health problem, but even worse to not know the real root. Listen, I have tremendous compassion for people with mental health issues and emotional problems. I have had many myself. And I know when you're in it, it feels real, no matter what anyone tells you. When you're in anxiety, it's very real. When you're in depression, it's very real. I know that, and I'm not saying that's not true. And this is an oversimplified explanation, but at the most fundamental level, oftentimes the primary cause of these mental health issues and emotional issues is a result of you always being in negative electromagnetic fields and never discharging that negative energy. And if it stays in your field, your energetic field, long enough, it starts to solidify and become a pattern. And you seem to take it with you wherever you go, right? Because it is becoming part of you. But if you get out of those negative electromagnetic fields and into positive ones, with the help of the trees, with nature, these things start to dissolve. The patterns start to dissolve. The negative energy starts to get discharged, and you start to become free. Emotionally, it's the same thing. Many of the extreme emotional outbursts of today are a result of absorbing negative energy, holding it, and never discharging it. And eventually it just explodes out of you, often freaking out at your partner or your friend. You don't hate your partner. You don't hate your friend. You were just, if you want to look at it one way, you were possessed by that negative energy and it got expressed that way. But another way of looking at it is you had that charge on you and then finally just got released at the smallest trigger. So many of these crazy emotional outbursts can be easily prevented by spending time in positive electromagnetic fields so we can discharge the negative energy. By doing this more mentally, you will be happier, clearer, more focused, more inspired, more receptive to higher ideas and innovation. You'll also be calmer and more relaxed. You'll see more clearly, more objectively, and you'll be able to logically think through things. Emotions, addictions, and stressors won't overpower you. And this will greatly improve all your relationships because stress is the #1 killer of relationships. And if you're not stressed out by discharging the negative energy, those freakouts, those fights, those arguments will never happen. That irritability won't be there. Instead, there will be peace. Instead, there will be love. As for career advancement, you are shifting the energy you're in. Instead of being overstimulated, distracted, and all over the place, you can be focused and create masterpieces. You can be highly productive and innovative. Higher creativity can come in because you are tuned to a different channel. Physically, we can get much deeper into poses and stretches using the trunk of the tree for support and as leverage. For example, we can get so deep into squats easily with the help of the tree. And once you try things like triangle pose and side bends, you will be, and twist too. Every twist can be so greatly enhanced with the tree. Twisting, side bending, also front body opening, back bends. There are so many amazing ways we can physically benefit from using a tree. But you also have to understand that even physically, we are more energetic than people often realize. The whole nervous system goes from head to toe. And when we're practicing tree yoga, it's like we almost have these energetic physical therapists helping to prime the nervous system so we can relearn moves or learn new moves. The benefits of tree yoga are truly endless. The more time you spend in positive electromagnetic fields, the more benefits you are going to receive. Further, there are new benefits being discovered all the time. This is all still so new. Spend time in nature. Spend time in positive electromagnetic fields. It truly is the master key to optimal health and wellness, as well as the highest levels of life quality and happiness. One more reminder here. If you spend too much time in negative electromagnetic fields, you become that negativity and overstimulation. Even if you can't see it happening, you become that craziness and chaos. On the other hand, if you spend time in positive electromagnetic fields, you become that positivity and purity. You become that peace, that clarity, and that goodness. Placing yourself in the right environment and connecting with the right energy changes everything.